I'm joined now by Steve Pruitt, managing partner at the consulting group Watts Partners. He's also a former staff director of the U.S. House Budget Committee. What happens to Latin America if this trade dispute continues to heat up? I mean, a lot of these are just threats right now, but they could be tariffs.
Well, I think first and foremost, there are a lot of potential victims, but I think in terms of Latin America, they're probably positioned better to engage in increased trade with our Asian friends than anybody else. So followed very closely by the Africans. But I think they've got opportunities that are going to open up if this continues. And, you know, the U.S. ultimately is going to be the loser.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I was just checking on soybeans. Exports of soybeans to China from the U.S. running around 17% below this time last year. As you know, Brazil, $19 billion worth of soybeans to China in 2016. Argentina exporting $3 billion worth of soybeans. You know that the soybean farmers in the Midwest, their knees are knocking. They're really nervous about this, but they're also probably have their eye on Latin America, and that could be a market share that could go away and never come back in a sense, right?
Well, I can assure you they're doing more than knocking their knees right now. And that's a market share that if it does go away, it's going to be very difficult to get back. And quite frankly, we don't have many other options where we could otherwise place those commodities. So this is really crazy. I mean, the biggest problem I think most folks are seeing is nobody knows what the plan is. You know, normally when you go into negotiations, people lay out their positions. You know, I had to chuckle today because the president's talking about going back into TPP, and he's saying, as long as I get a deal that's better than Barack Obama. Well, what was wrong with Barack Obama's deal that you think needs to be improved? Tell us what's better. Then we can figure out, okay, is what you're proposing better for us? Or is this just another shoot from the hip, check the box activity that you're pursuing where you say, okay, I made a promise during my campaign, I checked the box, got out of TPP, now what can I get into?
So the Trump doctrine tends to vacillate from day to day, so you really can't, if you're another country, you really can't plan, can you? I mean,
I wish you wouldn't use big words like doctrine. That does not apply here. Okay. You know, doctrine, you understand, you get it. I don't get it. I'm sure a whole lot of other people don't get it as to what is the game plan here in all of this. And if this is the great negotiator, mastering the art of the deal, I'm scared.
I will avoid the word doctrine in the future.
Thank you.
Pew is out with a new survey in advance of this gathering in Lima. It shows a significant drop in the views of the United States within the region. They surveyed 7 Latin American countries, found a median of 47% saying they have a favorable view of the U.S., down considerably from the last time when Obama went. The survey also found relatively few in the region had confidence in Trump on the world stage. What's the lasting impact, do you think, with this region in terms of the Trump presidency?
Well, again, I think it's confused. They don't see any order, any plan, any strategy in all of this. I was reading your headlines under scrolling and pointing out the fact that he didn't go. That's a lot of missed opportunities. So they don't see a lot of engagement. And without that engagement personally by the president on some of these big issues, folks are just going to go where the best deal they think they can get. And it's not going to be the United States, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I suspect that there are many people in the president's party that next November who will be thinking about this.
And I imagine the voters will as well. Steve Pruitt,
absolutely.
Pleasure chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good seeing you, Mike.
And I will avoid the word doctrine in the future in your presence.